Hey guys, just want to spend this video making a character sheet using Savage Worlds, but the character is Steven Seagal. Some of my die-hard followers know that I'm a big fan of his, not him as a human being, but his movies, as far as they're very bad, and B movies, they're absolutely pathetic and terrible, but that's what makes them so good. They're so bad it's good movies. I like bad movies, but that's basically what I'm trying to say. Now, Seagal has thousands of different quirks, and it will take me a solid hour to talk about each one. But mainly for this video. This might actually lead to a future video, a one-shot using Steven Seagal in a fantasy setting. So we'll make his character ready for that. And of course, it's Steven Seagal, so we have to consider the factors that he is outright invincible. He knows everything. He is perfect in every way, every fashion. He is the smartest person in the known universe, possibly even the unknown. He's a demigod. He can swoo any woman, no matter what age. He is not overweight like I am. That's a fact. He is indeed muscular, and anybody who says otherwise is outright wrong. So Seagal lies a lot. You know what? You know what he'll be good at? Being a politician. I'm surprised he fled to Russia. He just should have just ran for office. Anyways, let's begin with his name. Now, this is a fantasy. This will be a fantasy setting. So Seagal needs a fantasy name. Something perhaps thinking this being taking place in the Roman Empire years or Middle Ages and the medieval years. Here's a fantasy name for Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal. Why Steven Seagal? Why not like Stefan Seagalist? Because his name is perfect. There's no other name out there that can rival his majesty. Seagal knows no other name but his own. He'll try to remember your name, but he'll forget and just think about cookies and then walk away, mumbling to himself. Okay, so first, we have to roll up his 5 attributes, which are going to be agility, smart, strength, vigor, and spirit. So let me go back to the first few pages to get that in order, because we want it to be proper, because Seagal is proper in many ways. Let's see, these are races, which he will be a human for this one. There we go. That should work. All right. So agility is first listed here. So AGI. This will be, let's see. Now you have 5 points for these 5 attributes. You're given 5 points to basically buy your way up the chain, increasing these attributes. So agility smarts, I'll just put SMT, spirit, SPI, strength, of course, STR, and then vigor, VIG. All right. Now, 5 points. Where should we place? How do we distribute these 5 points? We need to keep this fair and balanced. Probably his favorite news network. Okay, here we go. For AGI, not artificial general intelligence, but agility, be a D12. Makes sense. He is in shape. He is perfect. He can jump cut his way through a fight. He knows his logic knows no physics, no bounds. Sorry. Smarts. He is omniscient. How we pronounce it. He knows where everything is. He knows everybody's name on a good day, and he speaks with complete coherency. He never stutters. He never mumbles. He never relies on a actual voice artist to dub his voice because the microphone can't pick it up. Let's say his smarts is D12. His spirit, he is in touch with God. He is a Buddhist. He is a Russian. He is a Texan. Um, he is a devout uh, Insert religion name here. So D12. Strength, D12. Vigor. Since he's the size of a killer whale, I mean, since he's the size of an Olympian, um, I'd say vigor will be a D12 plus 2. Now, we have to allocate his skills. So you're given 15 points to allocate to the skills. This is a deluxe Explorers edition because I'm cheap. But in Suede Adventures edition, you are given a handful of skills automatically D4 without that penalty. We will get to skills here in a second. But first, let's figure out his derived statistics. Now, charisma, I typically don't even bother with in my videos. Sometimes I consider it, but my characters don't really have an effect on it. But he has a charisma of plus X. Now, for pace, it depends on how drunk the editor is. So I'm going to put question mark. I wish I had the emoji, but just does this. Next is parry. Now, parry is um, half of your fighting skill plus 2. We don't have fighting skill yet, but I can guess that parry will be also X. Toughness is essentially your armor, if applicable. I usually just write down tough. That's half your vigor plus 2. So half is vigor, D12 plus this 14 is 7, 9, so X. Okay, next is edges and hindrances. So let's list these right. Edges typically build more as your character advances. I'm going to do hindrances first. Hindrances right here. And then edges I kind of just put right down here, halfway down this professionally printed character sheet. Gear, the background details, we're worried about that until I actually make the one shot where I'll be using Seagal. So this is just the foundational, this is just the foundation. It's just the first floor. So we have to go back to the page I had before. I usually don't go through any of this. I just kind of go to the summary, which is at the end before gear. So it's a great little summary of the skills. Now, hindrances is first. That gives us the extra points. A major hindrance is plus 2 points. A minor per is plus 1 point. You can use that to increase it, depending on how many points you use. 2 you can use to gain another attribute point or choose an edge. 1 point per, you can increase a skill point or increase your starting funds by 100%. So you can use 2 points to increase it 100% of your starting $500. Okay, so hindrances, let's see. Looking through this, so like all thumbs, that's -2 repair. He is intuitive. He can learn. He's like Styler from Heroes. He has aptitude and intuitiveness, aptitude, whatever the power was called. He can look at something and know exactly how it works. So if he's dismantling a nuclear bomb, that's the most sophisticated piece of technology in front of them, and it's alien technique, for example. He can look at it for a split second, pull a plug, and it's disarmed. So that's obviously not for him. All these other arrogant, that's mostly for his partners that usually die off after the first few scenes, and the movie just forgets about them. Bad luck, that's typically for the production crew and any female actress that acts in his movies, acts quote unquote. Blind, again, the female actress when they apply for the role and then discover it's him per the auditioning process and they can't leave because of binding the contract. Code of Honor. That's actually one of his title. That's actually one of his movie titles. I'm pretty sure. Code of Honor. Yeah, that is one of his titles. So that's fixed. So Code of Honor will be his hindrance. That's his major hindrance. So Code of Honor, which is 2 points. What this does, character keeps his word and acts like a gentleman. Seagal acting like a gentleman. Um, let's just remove that for for now. Yeah, let's look for something else. Curious, Seagal, he's probably curious why people keep watching his films. I'm evidence of that. Death Wish, Death doesn't want to really deal with Seagal. There's not a lot of room in hell or heaven. He's like, uh, I'm sorry, I was laughing for about a solid 5 minutes. He's like Lobo from DC. Heaven nor hell wants him because of not because of the smell, but because of his ego. So they just kind of let him do his thing and increase body count. Um, Death, yeah, delusional. That is one. That one's more grounded in reality for him. So delusional. That will be a major hindrance. Will it actually affect gameplay? Questions for the future. Character suffers from grave delusions. Yeah, I'll let that be for now. Elderly, he's not that old. He's roughly 75, so I'm pretty sure he can probably still do a keto. He can probably still jump out of a helicopter, land hundreds of feet down without a single wound. Maybe shaken, depends on the ground shakes more so possibly than that. Uh, Greedy, maybe. Hard of hearing, yeah, definitely hard of hearing. I'd say that's actually more for the cast when they're talking to him. They have a tough time hearing him. Now, hard of hearing is a either minor or major. I'll just do a minor. Heroic, he prefers to play the anti-hero, but if you watch all the films like I have, typically the villain unintentionally. Uh, lame -2 pace. We can't because it's infinite, so I actually probably should have put the infinite symbol. Whatever. Uh, loyal, mean, a beast. I resemble that remark. One arm, one eye, one leg, outsider, overconfident, pacifist, phobia. There's one phobia. But what is the phobia? That might actually be. We'll save that for later. Maybe he's has a phobia for actual acting or restraining orders. He has a phobia from restraining orders. Oh, that's all we can do. That's four. Now, what to spend? Well, we can then start on the skills, which we could use those points if we choose to. Let me put these little lines here to separate these little sections. There we go. Steven Seagal. Okay, so skills. We have boating. I haven't really seen him on a boat before. He's actually not allowed to because he exceeds the weight limit. So yeah, I never actually seen him on a boat. There is a movie Under Siege 2. I think he's in a submarine. I think, but the submarine does descend, so that's he actually kind of helps them. They're like, wow, we're actually going down faster than I expected. So climbing, that's something he does on a regular basis. He's very fit. He can scale a mountain in jump cuts, I mean, in seconds. That would be a D12. Then driving, he does a lot of driving. And when he drives, it is the most intense, serious. Sorry, I'm thinking about an actual good movie, like any of the driving scenes from Fast and Furious, but even more sillier. It's typically the most relaxed, laid back, top down angle through the window. He barely fits in the chair moments in the film. And again, driving is a D12. Next is fighting. That is going to be, let's see, fighting. Uh, okay, fighting will be a D100. Oh, silly me. That's not a die used in the game. A D12. There we go. Fighting, then gambling. He does he gamble? He gambles with the production company and all the lives that watch the films, but that's not really part of the lore. I'm going to skip that. Healing. He does not give one shit about anybody else except himself. So he can't get hurt, doesn't get wounds. Wounds is not allowed in this game. Will not be allowed. So he can't. Doesn't. No need for healing. Intimidation. That's actually a natural skill of his. Intimidation. That's going to be a D12. Next is investigation. Does he actually investigate his films? He probably, his producers probably investigate more often than him as to, again, who's funding these. So I'll put investigation just for fun, just for funsies. Investigation, D12. Now, knowledge is something that he could use, but because it's Seagal, it's automatically by default D12. Lockpicking, he typically just kicks the cardboard door down, but I'll give him lockpicking just for fun, especially if it takes place in the past, in the fantasy realm. Notice, he does notice things. That's quite evident. Like he notices there's a jar of cookies in the cupboard because he loves the hell out of cookies. Persuasion, well, he does have a habit of persuading women that's half his age or old enough to be his daughter into acting and having this. Oh God, the love scenes, quote unquote, in his films. If you think Gitmo or Guantanamo Bay or Alcatraz were bad, just watch one of Seagal's films and the love-making scenes. You will pick your eyes out, you will throw up, and you'll probably become a hermit for the rest of your life. I just, it's a torture device that has not been discovered by the U.S. government yet. I'm really surprised as to why it has not been used. So persuasion, I'm going to leave that off the table. Piloting, he actually has flown a jet in the movie Flight of Fury. Flight of Fury. Yep, that's the movie. So, despite that, with our current state of technology, a the most largest jumbo jet in the world still cannot hold his ego. We're getting pretty close. I think with AI, we might have a chance to discover that science, but for now, we're limited to um, just a couple hundred people, probably. I'd say. Repair doesn't really fix things. He doesn't like to use his hands besides hold guns wrong. Riding, he has rode a horse in the Patriot, so I will consider that several times. Stealth, that is laughably going to be included, about D12. Streetwise, he does like to talk. Uh, okay, got to use this very carefully here. He does like to talk when he's out in the streets. He's like the Urban Justice Show. He talks to people on the streets as if he's them. I don't know how else to say that. He acts like he's them. No matter who they are, where they live, whether it's in Mexico, whether it's in the US in California or New York or in Texas or in Russia or in Alaska, he talks like he's lived there, like he was born there for his whole life. That's how he talks. So Streetwise might be the most relevant skill I've ever seen for Seagal. Swimming, I'm sorry, survival. Survival's pretty basic. I'd say he survived. He's in Russia now. He escaped his accountability, so that's actually a D12 also. Swimming, he doesn't typically swim. Have never. I don't think a lot of. He probably has fallen into water, but he soaked it all up. I don't really. I don't really recall seeing him actually swim in a movie. It was probably a stunt double, which could be a skill. I'll actually consider that. There'll be more skills, but these are, I'm just write down the ones from the book for now, and then before I record a one shot in the future with this character sheet, Seagal, I will include skills that he's typically known for. But they might actually go beyond down to the back of the sheet because there's a lot more skills Seagal has. So taunt. Taunt is a skill that Seagal has used before, and that's worth including. Throwing, tracking. Tracking probably he has thrown in the movie The Keeper, where he's a cowboy for the last two-thirds of the film. He can throw knives or machetes, so I will use throwing. Throwing. In the same movie, he does use tracking, using a tracking device for his future victim. I mean, for his friend's daughter. So there you go. Now, edges. So with these points here, what can we increase? Everything is actually conveniently increased to D12. I just noticed. Okay, moving on. Edges. What does Seagal do? He is a brawler, a bruiser, that's for sure. Bonus die to unarmed damage, D8 instead of D6. So all these edges is pretty much all of the above. Star. Okay, so he's all these edges here: martial artist, power, surge, nobility, everything. He just all of them. He's every single one: tactician, rock and roll, scavenger, sidekick, except for that one. Extraction, ironic. MacGyver, that dude, Seagal and just building things. He's done it in the movie where, let's say, Driven to Kill, I think. He's going after his wife's murderer, so his ex-wife's murderer, because she was his age, so he can't be married to that. And yeah, he kind of like made his own homemade bomb in a hospital and blows up with a bunch of shrapnel. So again, he is MacGyver. There you go. There's our character. Seagal, no age, doesn't prefer because of the contract reasons. We can't, we're not allowed to list his age. He's a male. That's pretty obvious. So it's just Steven Seagal. Now I'm going to pause the video and we're going to see what his image will look like. And there you go. Not only does he have a sword, but he also has a gun, per the fantasy theme. So that's our character sheet for Steven Seagal. I might have more skills in the future for the actual one shot that he will be included in, and I hope it's going to bring plentiful amount of laughs for you. I've again before recording this, I was just thinking about the possibilities that this could pan out to be, and I was just laughing so goddamn hard because I'm a huge fan of Seagal's terrible films, and I just yeah. Now, obviously, this will take some time. Seagal's movie budgets are typically the pocket change, so that might take me a couple minutes to put together something. But in any event, we'll be using oracles, we'll use Savage Worlds, of course, as usual. And yeah, that's what we had. Hope you guys had fun. I thought this is, oh yeah, right. Gear and items. I'm not going to worry about it right now. He just has, yeah, it'll just be, I'll deal with that later. I guess, again, this, what is the setting will be Middle Ages, Roman Empire, um, 0 AD, Cyberpunk 1300, post-apocalyptic Rome, anything. Again, most likely past fantasy, but it will be Seagal just completely out of place as usual. So, he walks into a strip club and all the women are like, who's this hunking attractive man? And rest of us are like, how's that possible? Am I drunk? So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.